Ladies and gentlemen, usually I start these by saying game week, whatever is in the books, and we're going to react to it and look at it. But that's not the case because we're entering kind of silly season in the football calendar where there's a game every 2 or 3 days. So if you didn't catch it, James and I did have our game week 15 prediction video out. Unfortunately, it was just me, so you just got me droning on for about 15, 20 minutes or so. Luckily, the stars have aligned a little bit here. My new job, James running a business. We are actually on a Zoom call together, predicting Premier League football. Before we get started, as kind of customary, please hit that subscribe button. I think 20, 30 people still yet to subscribe to the channel to get us to 1,000. If you want to be in our first 1,000 subscribers, we'd really appreciate it. While you're down there, hit the like button, helps us with the algorithm. And also in the comment section, we want to see your predictions. Now, first couple of minutes, James, I do just want to spend Arsenal 4-3 at Kenilworth Road. You've just come off the back of watching that. As much as you're probably feeling really good right now, pretty concerning if we're being honest.
I think to me, every game you go through in the Premier League is not easy. I feel like we kind of look at it. Luton, it might be a little bit tough, but we'll get through it. They properly, made it tough for us. They made it tough for Liverpool. They made it tough for a number of teams that have went away to them this season. But market champions. But my only thing about this, Jack, Arsenal put me through this last season, and you know what? And Jack, you know what we ended up with? Nothing. I don't want to have this same feeling again of all this elation. Yes, and then ended up with nothing when it matters the most. So Arsenal, don't do this to me.
Game week 16, obviously coming up this weekend. Hopefully this will be coming out Tuesday night, maybe Wednesday night. Let's look at Crystal Palace versus Liverpool, kicking us off the first game week. I have got Liverpool away victory 2-1. James, a little more emphatic 3-0. James, why is it going to be such a big margin of victory for Liverpool?
For all we know, it could be another 3-3 game, crazy excitement. But I just look at this Liverpool team, Jack. Even when they're down, there's always goals in them. And my biggest question with Palace is that where are the goals going to come? I know Liverpool are going to bag a half full of goals. The question is, can Palace keep up with them? I think a few seasons ago, Liverpool were able to beat them. Was it 7-0 at home with a bunch of injuries there? So it's a place that they went away to in a number of years and gotten some good results there. So I just see Liverpool being able to go there and being comfortable.
Yeah, look, I hear you. I just think that Fulham game can't be ignored. I know that obviously Liverpool is still yet to play for game week 15. And obviously one thing for James and myself during this prediction video, we don't have the game week 15 results to go on. We only have 4 teams that will have seen play. So how are Liverpool going to react to conceding 3 goals at home? I don't know. I'm going to say they still get the job done. It's just a little bit tighter against this Palace team. Wolverhampton Wanderers just coming off their victory this evening, welcoming Nottingham Forest. I have it as 2-1. Again, similar reasons. I feel like, James, in a weird way, Wolves are kind of my team this season in the Premier League. I'm kind of rooting for them and hoping that they do well, right? Sasa Kaladze.
Yes, there we go.
But as always, and again, people must get sick of me saying this, talented players, chances created. Can they score the goals? I'm going to back them at home against a kind of hit and miss Nottingham Forest team. James, a tricky draw to call here. What makes you think it's going to be 1-1?
Again, I'm just looking at the way Wolves are, and granted, Wolves, I think they're able to beat Burnley today, which was big for them. But overall, in the past few weeks, Jack, it hasn't been great, either home or away. They're able to trouble teams, but Jack, they always have, just not being able to get the result. And granted, Jack, and another thing for them has been the refereeing decision, and that has been a difficult thing for them. Nottingham Forest, on the other hand, I don't know what to make of them. 1 week, Jack, they're really amazing. Next week, they're, think about it, they're not great. When you actually look at the form table, it's very, very similar form. And I'm just going by the form table and looking at, they both have 4 losses, 1 win. I know, I know they were able to win today against Burnley, so it kind of makes it a bit muddled. But when I was doing it, they both had 4 losses and 1 win. So I just see it just being a tense game. Wolves maybe taking the lead, in Nottingham Forest coming back and getting an equaliser.
Brighton versus Burnley feels like kind of maybe in a different lifetime that these two teams are actually quite similar in many ways, especially the Burnley team that we saw operate from the Championship last year. For that reason, James, I've got it as 2-2. I think whatever Brighton want to do, Burnley are going to be across of. They're going to be across it. Vincent Kompany, I think, tactically is very sophisticated, and he's going to know what Roberto De Zerbi's going to try and do. I think the thing that helps Burnley's case in this sense as well is that Brighton aren't at their best. Mentioned this in the Game Week 15 video. It does feel like a lot of those players believe their own hype a little bit. You have kind of a little bit more of a convincing 3-1 victory. What makes you so sure Brighton can secure this?
Brighton have low-key lost their aura, Jack. You see, before it was like they were going away to teams in blown away teams, either top of the table or just in around the bottom. They were just unbelievable. But recently, it's been a bit tough for them. But you look at both teams right now, Jack. They both want to play out from the back. They both want to press high. They both want to play, as people say, the right way. I just think I just think Brighton play a better way than and think about it, than Burnley. And if Burnley wants to go toe to toe with them, it could be a long day for them, especially to me. Like, if we're going attack for attack, I know they were able to score 5 goals against Sheffield United, and that might give them a bit more belief. But I just think Brighton would have way too much for them.
Speaking of Sheffield United welcoming Brentford to town. I think Sheffield United probably taking the cake at the moment for worst team in the league, with some of the performances from Luton Town being a little bit better than we expected, and Burnley with that big 5-0 victory as well. I'm going to say that Brentford, again, total team performance. Thomas Frank has these guys playing the right way, some talented players and some guys having a really nice season so far in that Brentford team. I think going away to Bramall Lane is not going to be a problem. Relatively comfortable 2-0 victory with Sheffield United kind of toothless. James, a 1-1 here, Sheffield United getting a point at home.
I need to know what I was thinking back then. Sheffield United, generally, I'm just thinking in my head, what was I thinking? Was I rushing? But I just like to think when I look at it overall. I don't know, Jack. Why did I put one up?
You want to change it?
You know what? I was okay. I'm gonna go for the fact of because I'm trying to remember the thoughts when I was thinking about it. I'm gonna look at the fact that Sheffield United are home. Brentford away from home this year hasn't been crazy crazy convincing. Sheffield United to me needs something to kind of keep their Premier League hopes alive. Because, Jack, once you get to Christmas and teams are just constantly just pummeling away at you, you're going to be the team that everybody's going to want to collect the 3 points from. If they can able to get a point in the situation, which I believe they do, as in to me right now, they're in a desperate area where it's like a must win. We're against teams who we kind of should be picking up something against them. So I just see them being able to just snag a 1-1 draw.
We're also still going to be within the first 7 days of Chris Wilder being back as manager, with Paul Heckingbottom obviously getting the sack. So maybe a new manager bounce to your point there. We'll go to Manchester United, and James, Bournemouth, kind of one of the more informed teams in the league at the moment. Iraola, the new manager, seems to have some sort of style that seems to be hitting at the moment, and he's putting some goals in, getting some results. Again, I think the tricky thing with this Manchester United team is we know that they're better than they're playing, but then the results seem to still be okay. But that's kind of weird because they don't pass the eye test. And James, the biggest thing for me, which is really helping me with my Manchester United predictions at the moment, this team has 0 draws. So I'm not really picking Manchester United. Yep, 0
draws.
The only team with 0 draws this season, I believe, Game Week 15. And actually, I can just check. Yep, Game Week. Yeah, so you and I both have them drawing with Chelsea, but
Invincibles.
That would be their first draw of the season. I'm going to say that kind of starts and stops there until maybe another game that I feel good about. Manchester United not getting a draw against Bournemouth. They're either going to win, James, or they're going to lose. I have a tight 2-1 win, last 10-15 minutes.
Jack, you said it right. You said it right there for me. The last 15 minutes, I think that's what it's going to be. It's not about the eye test, Jack. These are the teams that Manchester United usually get the results against, and they will get the result again. It won't be convincing. It won't be nice. It won't be pretty. It might be a mistake from the goalkeeper, a defender, and out of nowhere, a defender pops up to win the game for them because the strikers aren't reliable. It's just going to be like that, just all discombobulated with Manchester United. And yeah, 2-1. I just see that happening. I think Old Trafford is probably going to end up booing. They're going to be up with elation from the late goal, but it's going to end up in sadness and a bit of booing there.
We've just seen a crazy game of football, 4-3, Arsenal snatching the 3 points at Kenilworth Road. Aston Villa are a different prospect altogether. And we've seen what Arsenal are like away from home. The Raya-Ramsdale conversation is going to rear its head once again. And especially after Raya's performance this evening, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for that not to be a sticking point. Goalkeepers, you don't want to hear from. They make some saves, they concede goals that you can tolerate them conceding. They're never in the headlines. Arsenal are having the reverse at the moment, which to me is a major problem. Big talking point at the weekend is it going to be Ramsdale? Is it going to be Raya, especially away from home against this dangerous Villa team? To me, it's not a good recipe. As much as I think my scoreline of 3-1 makes it look kind of bad for Arsenal, I think that realistically speaking, Villa are no slouches. And as much as a loss away at Villa might seem really, really bad, in the context of this season, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for Arsenal. But I'm going for 3-1. James, 3-2.
Yeah, I think every game this season I haven't had Arsenal losing yet, and this first game I have them losing. I think it's going to depend on how the City game looks. Right now, I don't know how the City game looks. I'm going to change my scoreline, Jack, and I'm going to sit on 2-2. You know, actually, do you know what? Bunny, I'm going to back my team here. 3-2 Arsenal. I'm going to back them. Yeah, 3-2 Arsenal. So it's either you gain a point, I gain a point in this situation with a win. I'm going to back my team here.
James, Luton Town, obviously it'll be interesting to see how they react after the Arsenal game as well. I think they'll feel at least that they would have deserved the draw, maybe even gotten away with a win in that game. So interesting to see how they react. Manchester City are going to be hot this week as well off the back of that refereeing mistake in the Spurs game. Erling Haaland not with his shooting boots on. So Luton, Man City, both of us with 2-1. Kind of a tighter affair at Kenilworth Road?
I'm going to change it because I had it tight, and I look at Luton this year. They've had a few high-scoring games, and Jack, they've shown that they can go toe-to-toe, especially with set pieces against the top teams like they're able to do against Liverpool. I'm going to say 4-2 Man City. I think it will be a game that, Luton, if they can get a set piece, especially with that crowd there, it can really, really, really get at this Manchester City team. But as you said, quality shows. Arsenal showed the quality. At the end, Man City will always show their quality.
Fulham, West Ham. This was a really tricky game for me, I won't lie to you, especially because it was at Craven Cottage. I think my difficulty with this one is the way that David Moyes operates as a manager, and it feels now more and more, especially with Kudus, that he has the pieces to play the way that he wants to play, especially with James Ward-Prowse, especially with Souček, especially with Lucas Paqueta. Kudus, obviously, I've already mentioned. Jared Bowen having a nice season as well. Very difficult for me to find any reason why West Ham will ever get properly embarrassed or struggle in a game. So they're always going to be, in my opinion, in tight games. The Palace draw from game week 14 had me a little bit nervous because I thought they should have won that game. But I'm going to say that they have enough from East London to West London to just snag a 2-1. But I think it will be very, very close. I assume, think similarly to me, but just have the draw.
Again, both teams, I think if this was at West Ham at home, I think we probably both have West Ham winning the game. The fact it's at Craven Cottage just changes the mindset a little bit, and I'm not sure about West Ham being able to go away from home like that. Granted, it is still in London, bit of a London derby there. I just can't see them going there and winning. I just think Fulham will have enough to at least get a result in it. So that's what I want to sit on the on the win, because another way, West Ham does have the quality to hurt the Fulham team more.
Everton-Chelsea, really difficult game for me in the end. We've actually gone for quite similar results, the 1-goal margin to the home team. Chelsea are a difficult team to account for, guys. They really, really are. Very young team, very talented team, very, very raw. Still getting to know each other, and especially away from home, especially after who knows what's going to happen tomorrow against Manchester United. It's a very, very difficult team to judge. Everton, however, are a little easier and a little more consistent to rely on as well, especially with this whole XG metric that they have going for them. They're going to feel hard done by the Premier League, so I just think that that'll be enough to give them a bit of conviction in getting the result at Goodison Park. It's a hard place to go. I know they would say that about every single team in the league. It's a hard place to go. But guys, Goodison Park is a hard place to go, especially for this up and down Chelsea team. So I'm going to say no Cole Palmer penalty and just a 1-0 victory for Everton. James, 2-1 for you. Couple more goals in your game.
I just don't know what Chelsea I'm going to get. If I was going to get that consistent Chelsea that Jack we've seen, that like we've seen for the majority of the game against Brighton, I'm thinking, okay, boom, I'm going for Chelsea win here, but I just don't know what I'm going to get. And the fact that Colin Gallagher is going to be missing there, they have a couple of like suspensions, and also Jack away from home. We've seen that they've had some serious troubles away from home. Granted, they were able to beat Tottenham. You know why? Freaking Tottenham had 9 men on the field. I just think Everton, Merseyside, they're going to struggle there. I like to think Everton can just come away with a win.
James, final game of the week, and it's a bit of a banger. Unfortunately, half the teams for both these teams are missing. Spurs, Newcastle, and I believe Manchester United are the top 3 most injured teams so far this season. So as much of a spectacle as we'd want to see Spurs versus Newcastle, I think we're going to have across both teams maybe 10, 11 starting 11 players missing across both teams. We've both therefore got goal fests because Isak is playing, Son is playing, Kulusevski is playing. You got fullbacks in at centre-back, midfielders who are playing their first couple of games in the Premier League. I see this as kind of game of the week territory, very, very exciting. And I just think that Spurs will have enough at the end, at home, to pull away. Newcastle, a different proposition at St James's Park than they are away from home. I know that's obviously something you can say for most teams, but Newcastle United in particular, very, very different home form from away form. James, the 2-2 draw threading the needle. Quite a few draws for you this week.
Again, disclaimer, guys, we're doing this before the rest of the fixtures happen, like in the Premier League, so we don't know how teams are going to fare coming into this game. So right now we're basically looking at the game week 4 fixtures. I mean, great game week 14 fixtures, yeah. when like the game week 15 fixtures are going to be played on Tuesday, Wednesday, and also Thursday. So we don't know, but I just look at it from this point of view that Spurs, granted that Jack, they got an amazing point against City, and to go to Etihad and get a point is almost like a win, but they have been goalless, and Jack, they do leak goals. You know, Newcastle will get opportunities. Players like Gordon is going to get opportunities. Isak is going to get opportunities. Jack, they're both going to go for it. And I just look at the fact that there's so many injuries there. I think the quality of both sides kind of just clashing. It's kind of like an equal metric there. So I don't really feel like I can really go for a team. Right. Granted, Spurs are at home, and that might give them like a bit more favor. But as you can see, like Spurs recent with like loss against Chelsea and also Villa, their home form is a bit, teetering. So I'm just gonna sit on the fence here. You know, if let's just say Spurs had PSG tops on, I would have said Newcastle easily, but they don't. So I'm gonna sit on the fence here and say 2-2.
Guys at home, hate to repeat myself, if you're watching the video, if you do watch mine and James's videos and you're not subscribed, do us a favor, scroll down, hit that subscribe button. While you're down there, drop a like on the video. While you're down there, let us know your predictions for the week. Nice and simple. You can maybe copy and paste them in and just let us know what you have. You can play along with us at the moment. James and I, as of the end of game week 14, are tied with 89 points each. Come game week 17, we'll have an updated totals with game week 15 and game week 16 in there. But until next time, me and James, we will see ya.